Alright, so Power Rangers. I know everyone here loves it. It made our childhood. We got series like Mighty Morphin, Time Force, Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, bro. I know all you man, yeah, were copying the Morsi in your room, saying Power Rangers power up, yeah, and trying to hit the whole pose, innit? However, what's more crazy to me, these guys were always doing the most. And I came to this realization because I was scrolling through my For You page, maybe or maybe not looking for something to goon to, and then I saw this shit. Now tell me why my man went and hit a Smash 4 Bayonetta combo on a goddamn Stormtrooper, bro. There is no need for you to be doing all of this. And this got me thinking, Power Rangers have been doing the most since their first creation, fam. They are the only people who will announce that they're going to jump you, summon a kaiju mech to combine to jump you, and then do a pose after it, man. They've always been doing the most from the very beginning. But you know what, yeah? I had another realization. It's always the Rangers that get introduced mid-season that end up doing the most. Look at Power Rangers Samurai, for example. The Gold Ranger could have been a regular individual and just asked the Rangers to join the team. But instead, my man had these man slipping and sliding on ice here like the Scooby-Doo characters and let them get beat within an inch of their lives, all just so my man could come in, yeah, source the monster and aura farm just to look cool. By the way, yeah, the Red Ranger was his best friend. He was about to risk the death of his best friend, yeah, just potentially so he could aura farm. But you know what's even better, yeah, than a Ranger that helps the Rangers? It's a Ranger that goes and puts them on their ass. And I'm here to talk about a Ranger who whooped the Dino Thunder Rangers so badly, you might as well call this nigga their father. So everyone, I would like you to meet Trent Fernandez Mercer, who truly showed the Power Ranger universe what white power really meant. By the way, these are Power Rangers Ethan, Connor and Kira. I might refer to them by their colours or I might refer to them by their names. Also there's Tommy Oliver, but I know you all know who Tommy Oliver is. Anyway, let's start the video. Alright, so fun fact about Trent, yeah, he's actually a Power Rangers Annie because his dad is actually the equivalent of Power Rangers Jeff Bezos. However, his dad is also the main villain of the show and has a whole Jekyll and Hyde situation going on because he turns into a dinosaur monster called Mesogog. But that's not even the point. The point is whenever his dad turns into Mesogog, he opens up portals to go to his lair. And one day, Trent finds out one of them same portals are still lingering in his dad's study. So my dear viewer, I would like to ask you, what do you think Trent did when he saw the lingering portal in his dad's study? If you guessed D, you were correct. Now due to his dumbass action, he's now stumbled into the main villain's lair. However, as he's wondering where the fuck he is, he sees a shining light calling to him. But you see everyone, this was not a regular light. This was a dino gem. And you see the thing about dino gems is, you can't just take one. No, as Tommy himself says,
"One, you can't choose them, they choose you."
And the dino gem was able to sense it. It knew that underneath the kind facade that Trent betrayed, there was secretly a dastardly menace hanging underneath his soul that was just waiting to be released. And as it attached to him, a Ranger menace was created. So the Rangers get an alert that are monsters attacking the city, and of course they get ready to go jump it. And as they're about to jump the monster, this happens.
What's going on? What's that?
I don't know.
So the Rangers do find out what one-shotted the monster, and then they find out it was him. Immediately Trent starts aura farming, yeah, and lets them bask in the glorious drip that his suit has at the current moment in time. So as the Rangers decide to approach Trent immediately balls up his fist and says,
"Come any closer. You'll force me to do something I don't want to do."
Now, I didn't realize this when I was a child, yeah, but going over and rewatching, it tells me that Trent is a D1 crash out, bro. He is just looking for a reason to fight, because who balls up their fist and threatens someone they don't even know with just immediate violence? See, and the Red Ranger decided to ask a question.
What do you mean by that?
And as I said, D1 crash outs like Trent only need one reason. So Trent immediately decided to give this man smoke. Trent decides to become Sir Trent and fires a million flipping arrows at the Rangers and puts them immediately on their asses. And then Trent decided to say,
"If I see you man again, I'm jumping you."
but the Rangers decided to go anyway, even after they were warned. And you see, this is where the whooping started. So the Rangers want immediate smoke with Trent, and he's just ready to oblige because he immediately hits them in a sequence of "Tiger! Fuck out my face." And then Trent grabs the Red Ranger like he didn't make him a sandwich and throws him immediately to the side. And then after dodging both the Yellow and Blue Ranger, goes and hits them with some medieval weaponry again. And then after he realizes, oh, I can be the Flash too, and starts dash attacking them after as well. And mid dash attack here, Trent decides to start drawing these man like a treasure maps, and then flips over them and then immediately hits them with a And then the Red Ranger's dumbass tries to talk to Trent like, bro, please, we were just joking, we didn't even think you were on it like that, man. But Trent just decided to respond with,
"Oh, you man thought I wasn't serious? Okay, we'll know this year. I'm about to touch you man so hard. 2025's not gonna be called the year of Diddy, it's gonna be called the year of the White Ranger."
Bro, what are you talking about? It's 2004.
Shut up.
Like, bro, at this point, yeah, these guys have been Power Rangers for at least 2 months, yeah. Trent is a newbie and he is just whooping them. Like, my god. And the Blue Ranger's thinking the same thing, bro, because he immediately tries to pull out the switch on Trent, but then he immediately gets hit with a and him and Yellow get hit with it, and he immediately wants to try that shit again, yeah, but Tommy comes in and says, bro, look, we don't want the smoke here, please, let's just talk this out. But Trent's just like,
"So you men are weak and you're pussies? Alright, this was a waste of time anyway."
Due to Trent's gold medal level instigating, he was able to get Kieran and Ethan to keep fighting him. However, the result of Kieran and Ethan's decision was Whee! See, and you know what's bad, yeah, because now the Blue Ranger is squeezing his fist in anger, fam, like he's about to do something. And all that happens is this man just goes to fight Trent, and both him and Yellow get kicked into a car. And after firmly getting kicked into a car, yeah, he decides to whip out the weapons. But what's crazy is as these men go to attack Trent, yeah, all of a sudden my man just decides to hit that Star Wars shit and grabs these men with some force lightning and flings them to the side. Now as these men have got demorphed from getting their asses whooped thoroughly, Tommy comes in to try help these men fight. However, I emphasize the word tries.
Kira! Ethan!
Bring it!
Sneak attack!
I'll take yours too. Now go.
How you telling me Mr. Power Ranger himself, Tommy Oliver, came in screaming like he's about to hit them with Sokka's special sneak attack? He then proceeds to get uppies, then gets flung to the side like he's a used condom. This is your GOAT who came in just to get one shot, bro. He took a whole life-threatening blast like at the age of 18, and you're telling me one hit from Trent and he's down? Nah. To me, yeah, he saw his teammates get jumped, and he was like,
fuck this shit, I'm out.
As Trent continues to keep clapping their cheeks, the Red Ranger comes in to try to save the day for them. However, so you see, I think it's pretty clear to say Trent won this round. You see, these are the faces of people who are now wondering whether they should continue doing this Ranger shit. Cause why does Trent now have Tommy slumped down here like he just failed an exam? This is a 25-year-old man, and he's not just a regular 25-year-old. He has led 3 teams into battle against main villains. He has saved the earth 3 times, yeah, and a 16-year-old has him looked like he was ready to give up on life. And look at the way Trent has Tommy looking, bro. He's making him think he's washed, man. Tommy has been through 4 separate encounters of facing world-ending threats and won, yet a 16-year-old was somehow able to make him feel like he's washed now. Look at him. This is not the face of a man, yeah, who has beaten 4 world-ending threats. And you know what, yeah? How can you even be mad? Because for some reason, Trent all of a sudden has so much more powers than the rest of these men. Because he has full counter, super speed, killer queen's powers, and fucking force lightning. Now tell me why in Ham Saban's name, yeah, does this man have the ability to use force lightning? In what time did he go to the Star Wars universe to learn force lightning, bro? And I cannot stress this enough again, he got his powers 10 minutes ago and he can do all of this. Like he really went to jump these man just purely for shits and gigs, man. Well, you know what, yeah? This was just the start of Trent embracing the white power that had been given to him, because what he does next is even more crazy. So after whooping the Rangers in a very voluminous fashion, Trent decided to go and do some work and started to hatch an egg. However, Shaggy and Scooby over here decide to interrupt my man, so my man immediately fires the arrows at them. However, Fred and Daphne decide to get ready for the smoke and immediately start morphing up here, but Trent just decides to immediately hit them with the Ku Klux Dash and then spinning kicks them both in the chest. However, mid whooping, a monster decides to attack, which gives Bonnie and Clyde the perfect opportunity to escape. However, as the Rangers are currently engaging in battle with the monster, Trent's little experiment decides to pop out and show niggas. And ladies and gentlemen, our white menace now has a Zord. And Trent immediately says,
You see what I'm standing on right now, yeah? I'm about to use this to beat your ass.
And Trent's sword immediately gets to scrapping. And like father like son in it, yeah, cause my man immediately hits them with the Ku Klux Dash as well. And Tommy's over here seeing his squad get beat up, so he immediately decides to summon the Sego Zord, yeah, to come help them out. But Trent just hits him with a
Hoping you do that. I command.
And now he robbed them of their sword and formed the Megazord. And you see Tommy's seeing this, yeah, and he's probably thinking,
oh, Colonel, we are so fucked.
And since the Rangers have no other choice, they try and whip out the finishing move on Trent. But then Trent decides to whip out a super move of his own. And then
Stinger, intercept!
Oh no!
You win! Perfect!
he destroys the Megazord. Luckily, Trent's Megazord defuses, and these men are able to escape and go back to their base. And then Tommy's trying to give these men a speech here about hard days and good days, like my man wasn't standing in the corner like one more phenomenal dickhead. Whilst Trent beat the Rangers so badly in their Megazord, their Zords now have concussions, bro. You man see how their eyes are flashing like they're seeing stars right now? They most definitely got CTE. However, Trent wasn't done, because he had to prove to the Rangers on an individual basis that white was the superior colour of them all. And Trent saw 2 Rangers that he could immediately make an example of. Our boy Connor over here is just playing some football, yeah, just relaxing after a violent arse whooping given to him by the White Ranger. However, he notices that Trent is feeling off, so he goes to check on him. However, Trent says he's all good, so Connor just tries to ignore it. But then he just sees Trent disappear, so obviously like the good Samaritan he is, he goes to find Trent and see where he went. So somehow, Connor's investigations have led him to a secluded cliff in the mountains. And as he's wondering where the hell Trent is, luckily Connor's able to morph here and save himself. However, Trent decided to come for only one thing and one thing alone, the fade. And what's the crazy part is, immediately my man threw his dagger to the side and said,
Run the hands, pussy.
And Connor's happy to oblige by that. Of course, Trent starts the battle off with the Ku Klux Dash and immediately puts Connor on his ass. And after seeing Trent release the same move for the 20th time, Connor starts getting frustrated, so he's immediately about to release the switch. And he has that shit straight locked onto Trent's face. However, Trent tells him,
Wow, I just knew you couldn't throw them hands. What a bitch!
However, Connor decides to throw the switch to the ground and decides to hit Trent with a torque no jutsu. However, and even the villains are watching and they're like, damn, he's really getting his ass beat right now.
I know, bro. How many people listen to him in this team? We suck.
After seeing the quick yap sesh, we cut back to Trent and Connor. And Connor is really representing his colour right now because he is getting treated like one straight punching bag, man. Like, look at the combos Trent is doing on this guy right now. Spun my man round like a ballerina, punched him in the gut and chest, twice mind you, and proceeded to sweep him off his feet and put him on the floor. And to make it doubly worse, my man took a sword too. And then Connor says, bro, what happened to throwing hands? But Trent's just like,
oh yeah, you're right. We were meant to throw hands. Anyway.
Also comes as a handy laser. Later, bro.
now at this moment, Connor is thinking about the amount of times Trent has disrespected him. He beat up him, his squad, their mega Zords, and even stole one of their Zords as well. All of this burning rage and fury builds up inside of Connor, and it allows him to power up. And Connor immediately dashes towards Trent, and he hits him with one of the meanest and puts that nigga straight to the ground. And Trent gets up and says,
alright, that was a better call, right?
And then immediately falls to the ground. However, even though Connor's got this fight in the bag, he decides to make a top 5 dumbass decision because he goes and helps Trent. And you know what, yeah, when you see an act of kindness like this, usually it would evoke a sense of change and relief where the ranger becomes good and regrets their actions. But what happened instead was,
I didn't mean to. Are you alright?
Gotcha, bitch!
Damn now.
No! I can't believe I fell for that!
now as our Red Ranger is currently on the ground, realizing that he is probably a fraud right now, the villains decide to come and offer Trent a job. Yo mate, we like the curve your jib, yeah? And we think you would be a good fit on the team. How about you come and join us? Man, ain't no way you lame ass niggas came here as well, man.
Man, get your ass back on the ground.
However, Trent just decides to refuse the offer, leaves to go handle the monster, and decides to get back to menace timing with another W under his belt. Also, he turns Tommy into an ice lolly, yeah. Can't be bothered to go over that because the script is already going over the 20 minutes. But here's a short replay of the best parts of the fight.
What's wrong?
Me. 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 Me.
Alright, so after some mind altering shenanigans, Trent has now fully been engrossed into the villainous team, and he decides to show his new boss how he gets shit done. As Connor's walking home, Trent decides to confront him after he was camouflaged in the wall. Obviously, Connor's scared, and why wouldn't he be, bro? This is a guy who was waiting for him to go and jump him, bro. Do you know how much effort it takes to find out someone's walk route just so you can come and fight them? But Connor has to show him why he wears red, so he gets to scrapping immediately. See, and they're going blow for blow because they're punching each other, slashing each other, and blasting each other as well. However, somehow this fight ends in a draw. And what's even stranger is some centimillipede plant looking thing comes in and blasts some shit at Trent, and all of a sudden he says,
Trent, are you okay? Better than okay. I'm me.
obviously we all know he's bullshitting, yeah, but let's see what he does. Now, to apologize to Tommy, Trent decides to gift him with a new bike. However, Tommy realizes that this bike isn't exactly where it seems. So the bike starts going haywire, and Tommy and Trent get into a bike chase like they're in Mission Impossible 2. Now Tommy decides to try and hit Trent off the motorcycle. However, Trent decides to do the cleanest swerve in order to aura farm. And due to over aura farming, Trent allows Tommy to escape and link back up with the squad. Now after having Tommy fight for his life on the bike, he tells the Rangers he's going to destroy their Zords and laughs at them as well. And the Rangers aren't going to have this, so they want to get their get back on this man. Now after a little bit of scrappage and a justified kidnapping, they decide to go and confront Trent. Now the plan was to make the monster force the Zords to be on their side. However, Trent decides to strike down the monster and say,
You wanna see something cool?
Dinosaurs, attach!
So the Rangers immediately go into their Megazord, and Connor even says,
They can pay!
but the result is...
Dimetro Zord, Saw Blade.
And man, you can't even help but feel bad for these guys. They've been beaten, robbed, and embarrassed by just one man. But even after joining the villains, Trent still had to beat the white power into them as well. Alright, here's one of the main villains' henchmen, Zeltrax. And you see, Zeltrax had a problem. My man has been getting whooped by the Rangers continuously, and the Black Ranger has been giving him some of that black pride as well, yeah, because he keeps whooping his ass. So the villains are discussing how they're gonna beat the Rangers, and the fine shit starts saying,
Alright, so we are going to use this fish motherfucker to beat their asses.
that plan's trash.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
I know your Timu Darth Vader looking self ain't talking when you're 0-26 against the Black Ranger.
Look, I know you're the boss's son, yeah, but you still a bitch ass knucklehead. You better know your place.
I know you ain't saying shit to me when I'm 5-2 against the Rangers right now, bro. Cause right now, yeah, I'm moving like LeBron James, and you're moving like Brian Scalabrine.
Don't you ever disrespect the white mama in your life, little nigga.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do about it?
Well, are you ready?
Trent obviously had to hit his trademark Ku Klux dash. However, Zeltrax catches it, and after a cut to the Rangers fighting a fish for some reason, we see that Trent is actually looking like he's on the losing end. Zeltrax is able to kick him back, counter the arrows, and for once Trent gets beat so badly, he demorphs. And Zeltrax comes and says,
Trash ass, I know you couldn't fight.
and Trent isn't like the Rangers, so he's not taking that level of disrespect lying down. So he goes back to fighting even while depowered, because there's no way you're hiding this man from the smoke. And after another cut to the Rangers fighting a fish, Zeltrax has got Trent beat, and he has no idea on what to do to win.
Huh, I know you couldn't fight. You have no way to win this.
Damn, he's right. I ain't got no way to win.
Well, might as well pull some bullshit.
Well, then you think.
Real.
Let me show you.
And Trent has now even got one up against the villains as well. However, sadly, this is where Trent's menace streak comes to an end. Because after some mind-altering shenanigans and a father-son talk, Trent joins the Rangers to become a member of the team. Sadly, however, he loses his white power and just goes to the White Ranger. However, unbeknownst to him, the white power still remained in the distance. So in conclusion, Trent was able to beat the Rangers more than 3 times, put their mentor into an ice lolly, beat one of their main villains, and single-handedly embarrassed everyone. People will talk about Kenpachi, people will talk about Escanor, but no one will ever bring up the White Ranger Trent. This is why, yeah, in my opinion, he is a top 1 menace, now and forever. I know there's some other menaces you might want me to talk about, yeah? So, if you have anyone to mention, say it in the comments, and more than likely I'll look at them because I'm pretty lonely. You know, like the video because it helps me, subscribe because I'm going to keep posting more videos regularly, and you know, turn on them notifications because I'm going to try post and I want you guys to see it. Also, I'm black, by the way, so all these white power jokes were made. They weren't racist, yeah? Don't cancel me, I beg. And yeah, in a bit.